Las Vegas is set to take center stage this weekend with midnight racing in the City of Sin that is set to thrill a star-studded crowd expected to descend on the city this weekend. It turns out that sticking a race in the middle of the desert in November might be a little problematic, as the weekend's race looks set to be the coldest in Formula One history. The chilly Nevada nights could easily see the thermometer drop below the 5-degree mark, which would beat the 1978 Canadian Grand Prix. While this may be seen as another moment of history for a race that is trying to make a run at the title of jewel in the Formula One crown, the cold nights could also provide a major problem for teams and Pirelli. Former F1 chief Ross Brawn believes the sport hasn't thought enough about the ramifications of such a cold running, although has acknowledged that Pirelli have taken steps to make it easier to get heat into the tyres in such conditions. The tyre companies have done some work to make sure the tyres can cope with the temperatures, said Brawn. We're definitely facing some new challenges, which we've never had before, but I think it'll be spectacular. Mercedes trackside engineer Andrew Chauvelin shares some of the skepticism around the pitfalls of the weather. You do a run, it's very difficult for the tyres to either get them switched on, or there may be graining and things. Then sometimes you just wait until it warms up a bit. So actually having to race and qualify in those conditions, it will be interesting. You just try and identify the risks with the new circuit, work out what your contingencies will be, whether you need any sort of specific car spec to deal with that. Las Vegas is desperate for a successful first running and hopes to be far more entertaining than Miami's inaugural Grand Prix last year. We'll see how it plays out when action gets underway on Thursday night in Las Vegas. Elsewhere, Christian Horner is putting some pressure on Sergio Perez as the Red Bull team boss hopes for a masterclass from the Mexican driver around the streets of Vegas. Perez still sits over 30 points clear of Lewis Hamilton, second in the overall drivers' standings, but needs to maintain that position to have a chance of staying at the constructor for next season. With 5 of his 6 race wins coming on street circuits, Horner hopes that his number 2 driver will be able to build on his 4th place finish from Brazil and once again produce the goods on a less traditional track. I think that was the Checo in Brazil that we know, and you know what he's capable of, said Horner. And that will give him just the boost he needs going into another street track that he's always, performed well out in. I think for Checo to outscore Lewis by multiple points in Brazil, it was a very strong weekend for him. A 3rd in the sprint, 4th from 9th on the grid with the yellow flag he got in qualifying, has been a very good weekend for him. It's a huge chance then for Perez to perhaps silence some of the rumours swirling around his future in the paddock and give his best showing on a track that could well suit his driving style. We'll find out with all the build-up for the Las Vegas Grand Prix on GPFans.com and GPFans Global across social media, and get onto GPFans Global on the YouTube channel as well by hitting the subscribe button down below to stick with us for all of our videos.